Hey there. My face is right here for the first time, I guess, since I don't think I've had any other video on my channel that shows my face. But I'm going to talk about Undertale, as this year is probably like the first time I've actually played through Undertale, like pretty much mostly the whole game, except one part of the game, and I do have a reason for it. Uh, I did not play Undertale. I did not play Undertale the first time it came out in 2015. Just because something is out and it's popular, I'm not gonna play it. I only play games that have an interest to me or I love the series. I didn't get around to playing Undertale, or at least a demo of Undertale, until like 2017, 2018. I played a bit of the demo. I'm like, okay, this is an interesting game. I'll purchase the full game, when it's on like a proper console. I didn't want to buy it on my computer. I was like thinking, oh, if it was like on the 3DS or something, like I'll purchase it then. Like, and the way the Undertale's display, like I'm wondering why it's not on the 3DS. You have the interactive screen, the interactive box that would be the bottom screen, and the monster visuals be on the top screen. Like, I don't understand why they didn't put on the 3DS. But I did purchase Undertale on the Switch this year. It was like my first purchase this year. You know, stroke of midnight, January 1st, purchased the game. I started out doing the neutral route, where I did kill some monsters, but I spared pretty much everything else, like especially the bosses, and I got the neutral ending. Now, I didn't kill like a lot of monsters, so I didn't. It wasn't, you know, I didn't get the neutral route where, like, what happens if you do kill like every single monster. Well, I only killed a few, and it was a short game. Like, I'd be in like 8 hours when I did that neutral row. I'm like, you know what? I could do a true pacifist row. Um. So like I started a new game, and I did my best not to kill any monster. I spared every monster. I spared the bosses, and I got the true pacifist rope. And after doing that true pacifist, after that true pacifist rope, I'm like, this is it was all worth it. I'm like, okay, I did the neutral rope, I did the true pacifist rope. How about the genocide rope? I cannot beat it for one reason, and one reason only: Sans. I think the only reason I wanted to do the genocide route is just I want to see how crazy Sans is. I avoided any let's play of the game. And, I avoided watching any let's play before I had my chance to play. uh, I avoided watching any videos related to how Sans battle mechanics are. I just want to see the madness of Sans myself. And I think that's what drove me off. That's what drove me up. That's what drove me off to do that genocide road. Like, I just want to see Sans. I had a hard time being on Undyne for like a few days. You know, and I kept doing it and doing it until I figured out Undyne's pattern. And after I beat Undyne and everything else, like, I got to Sans. I want to see how crazy this boss is, and I'm like, I just saw it all. Like, that first attack where he just does that crazy first attack killed me the first time. I'm like, oh, that's his first attack is just absolute nuts. And then he has that, random bones attack, and you have to, in order to advance his battle, you have to keep attacking him, which is, missing, until he gets to a point where you are given the option to spare him. I'm like, what happens if you don't spare him and he does these more crazy on attacks? Just these crazy attacks are just absolutely random. And after like, I don't know how many times, maybe like 30 times I failed him, failed fighting him, I just got to the point like, it's just not fun anymore. Like, I don't see the point in being a genocide run. Like, the only reason I did the genocide run is so I could see how crazy Sans is. I saw how crazy he is. I don't see any reason to go any further. And I did look up the Undertale wiki to see what happens if you did do the genocide run, and when you beat the genocide run, you get this thing that pretty much corrupts your future true pacifist runs. Like, it's like the game haunts your future playthroughs. And I'm like thinking, you know what's not really worth it? Like, I just want to see what Sans does. I want to see what the hype was about when the Sans costume was in Smash. Or why even people want to request Sans in Smash. And I saw Sans is just a likable character. And this battle is just absolutely nuts. And the thing about the game Undertale itself, it is just this incredible adventure. Like, yeah, I would definitely play this game over and over again. Not just because it's short, but because it does have some likable characters. It's very interesting. And there's this interesting mythos to the game itself. This interesting lore. And, that's all I have to say. It's kind of interesting. When I first played the demo back in 2017, 2018, I treated it like an ordinary, just another RPG, like just fighting monsters. If I bought the actual game, and I have not played the demo, but if I played the actual game and played the how I played it in the demo, it's not like the genocide run where you have to stick around to the point where no enemies showed up, but you would get this not this neutral ending where you're a complete dick. Which is what the ending would I would have gotten if I played based on how I played the demo the first time. But it's kind of interesting when I played the game after purchasing it. There's this thing in the tutorial where like tutorial tells you to talk to the dummy in the beginning. She doesn't tell you to attack the dummy, but to talk to the dummy, and that's the moment I realized, like, oh, this is tutorial introducing you to the game's actual mechanics. They're not fighting mechanics, they're conversation mechanics. And you have this idea of what the game is, what the game Undertale really is about. What if violence is not the option? What if there are non-violent options? So yeah, this is a game, Undertale. It's worth playing over and over again, not because it's short, but it's because it's really interesting. And I'm looking forward to any future playthroughs of Undertale, except the genocide run. That run is just not worth it. That route is not worth it. I think for the people who have actually beaten the genocide run, I think they have the same feeling to like once is enough. Once is enough. That's it. So I'm just gonna end it right here. Have a nice day. I'm gonna close it right